now Saturday, November 23rd. Where's Jack Ruby Saturday? Ruby, he spends most of his day down at the Dallas City Jail. He knows those guys. When he walks in there, they're like, hey, Jack, how are you? So Ruby, he asks police what they're going to do with Oswald. And they tell him that they're going to transfer Oswald from the Dallas City Jail to the Dallas County Jail. And the transfer would happen the next day, Sunday, November 24th at 10 a.m. But they also said that they're not going to take any chances that somebody tries to take a shot at Oswald. So they're not going to do this transfer in a regular police car. They're going to do this transfer in a bulletproof armored car. One designed to carry money for banks. Now, have you guys seen footage from that day at the Dallas City Jail at all? Yeah. Well, you guys might have noticed that the armored car is at the entrance of the tunnel. And that's because they found out that morning that that armored car would not fit down the ramp. So they're going to use the armored car as a decoy. And they're going to use the Captain Fritz's personal Ford Galaxy as a transfer car. Methodist Hospital with you guys earlier, and that's the hospital that J.D. Tibbet was taken to. Now in 1963, the shopping mall, nothing invented yet. So if you wanted to shop for anything good, you got to come downtown. Well, here in Dallas, there were 3 streets of most of that stuff. You had Main Street, Elm Street, the street you're on right now, Commerce Street. Jack Ruby's Old Carousel Club, the address, 1312 and a half, Commerce Street. And it was upstairs from a restaurant in a very small building. It was torn down a long time ago. I'm going to show you guys right where it used to be. And all down Commerce Street, or over on the right, this was bar after bar, nightclub after nightclub. And in the thick of it all was Jack Ruby's Old Carousel Club. And it's coming up right up here on the right in just a moment. Now after Jack Ruby went to jail, they turned his Old Carousel Club into a police boxing ring. Here it is, right here on the right. You're at this little building right here. It says 2 AT&T Plaza, right here on the right. Right where that building is now is where Jack Ruby's Old Carousel Club used to be, right there. So it is now Sunday, November 24th, 10 a.m. Jack Ruby, he should be down to Dallas City Jail, but he has not even left his apartment yet. And then at 10:19, he gets a telephone call from one of his dancers named Karen Lindley Carlin. And she's out of Fort Worth, and she needs $25 for her rent. And Jack Ruby, he is not going to drive all the way to Fort Worth to give us $25. He is going to wire her this money from Western Union. Well, November 24th, Western Union was located just a 90-second walk from the Dallas City Jail. And the old Dallas City Jail is this big building coming up right here on our left. So Jack Ruby, he goes and sent that MoneyGram, and it is time-stamped to 11/17. Let's give him 2 minutes to get right here. So the 19th. Let's give him 1 more minute to get right down this ramp, right here on the left. Oh, it's opening for us. Doesn't open too often. You guys, a little sneak peek down there. So let's give Jack Ruby 1 more minute to get right down that ramp. 11:20. Now Oswald, he is up on the 3rd floor in a holding cell, and he is coming down the elevator. And he is going to be in the open for about 10 seconds. Now folks, that is a very small window of opportunity. Well, Jack Ruby gets here, and it is perfect timing. He sees and he yells Oswald, and sticks at 38 in his gun, he fires. And Oswald collapses right on the other side of this door. So now Dallas police, they have to rush Oswald to the hospital. And irony of all ironies, they take Oswald to the exact same hospital they took President Kennedy to 2 days prior at Harvard. And right there on the other side of that door is where Jack Ruby shot and killed the RV Oswald right there. And they also had to arrest Jack Ruby right there. And what they do, he starts to talk. He says, "You killed my president. I'm just doing what you guys couldn't do. I told you I'm not soft." Now that was the first ever murder told forward on live television. And there have been 3 catastrophic events that have shaped America's history caught on live television. That was the very first one. The other 2, the Space Shuttle Challenger, and then of course 9/11. So Jack Ruby, he stood trial for this crime here in Dallas, and he was found guilty, and he received the death sentence. Now, Ruby's lawyers, they appealed that to the highest court of Texas. They said that there is no way that Jack Ruby got a fair trial. But before they could hear that appeal, Jack Ruby, he died of cancer 3 years later, January of '67. So there are a lot of oddities about November 22nd. Some of them really make you scratch your head. But I'm going to ask you guys about one that not many people know the answer to. And it is the origin of everything we know today. President Kennedy, he was shot and killed in Dallas, Texas on November 22nd, 1963. Was that a federal crime, a Texas crime, or was it both?
Texas crime.
That's right, in 1963 it was not a federal crime to kill the President of the United States. That law did not come about for another 2 years, and it obviously did because of this day. So that makes it a Texas crime only. And the reason that's important is because Texas law specifically states that any homicide committed in the state of Texas, the autopsy must be done in Texas as well. So President Kennedy, he was declared dead at 1 p.m. Shortly after, the doctors at Parkway apparently did the autopsy, where the Secret Service rush in and say, "Stop what you're doing. We're taking the president's body with us back to Washington." But the doctors at Parkland, they say, "No, you're not. We have jurisdiction. We're doing the autopsy right here, right now." But here's what the Secret Service knows. President Kennedy has been shot and killed. Governor Connolly, he has also been hit. And he too might die. They have to protect LBJ. They said, "LBJ, get on Air Force One. We're getting out of Dallas right now." And LBJ, he will not leave without Mrs. Kennedy. And Mrs. Kennedy, she will not leave without her husband's body. So the Dallas District Attorney, Henry Wade, he had a lot of pressure put on him. And he gave in to that pressure. He said that he did not object to them taking the president's body with them back to Washington. Now Mrs. Kennedy, she requested the autopsy be performed by Navy doctors since her husband was in the Navy in World War II. So that's where they did it, at the Naval Hospital in Bethesda, Maryland, right outside of Washington, D.C. Now the funeral for the president, it was held on Monday, November 25th, and it is a very sad day for our country. Americans all over the nation glued to the television. But it's especially sad when they bring the president's body by his family. His casket draped in the American flag. His son John, he steps forward and gives his father a hand salute. It's John's birthday that day. He turned 3 years old. Now Mrs. Kennedy, she also requested the funeral be replicated as close as possible to that of another American president. You guys know who that is?
Abe Lincoln.
That's right, Abraham Lincoln. They did a very nice job with that. So President Kennedy, he was not the first Kennedy to want to be president. It was actually his father, Joe Kennedy, who was the one who really wanted to be president. And just before the Second World War, Joe Kennedy, he is the U.S. ambassador to England. And he made some comments that outraged the people over there. He said, democracy, it's dead over in England. It's over. Well, FDR, the president at that time, he heard that comment and he fired and replaced Joe Kennedy as U.S. ambassador. And at that moment, Joe Kennedy, he knew that his political career was over. But he wanted his family name to have a legacy in American history. So he turned to his oldest son, Joe Jr. And he said, Joe Jr., you will be president of the United States. So both John F. Kennedy and Joe Jr., they both joined the United States Navy. And both boys fight very hard in the Second World War. John F. Kennedy, his PT boat is destroyed by the Japanese. Him and his crew are missing for a couple days until they are rescued by the Australian Navy. Well, his brother, Joe Jr., he flew missions. Enough missions to say, son, you have served your country. You've earned the right to go home. Well, Joe Jr., he let his crew go home, and he volunteered to stay and fight. And he was later killed in action. So the father, Joe Kennedy, upon hearing the news of the death of his oldest son, he turned to his other son, John F. Kennedy, and he called him Jack. He said, Jack, you will be president of the United States. But John F. Kennedy, he said, Dad, that was your life being a politician. I don't know if that's going to be mine. But you did not say no to Joe Kennedy, especially through one of his children. So it was set for John F. Kennedy to enter politics. You see the neighborhoods they lived in, they're very wealthy. And they do not elect Catholics. So they headed towards the more blue-collar area of Boston called Charlestown. And it's full of Irish and Italian Catholics. And John F. Kennedy, he gave over 350 speeches. His father spent millions on his campaign. And John F. Kennedy, he earned his first congressional seat in the Boston area of Massachusetts. And that right there is where it all began for President Kennedy.